Both sides really very capable of putting forward. Both 60 and the Monarchs came off 60 minutes of playing a man down in a 0-0 draw here. David, Bulls, great team field tonight.
Notoriously last week that they come out today. Tacoma. Going forward, you know, that first game on the road. Last week they played down with 10 men. Can they start this game and finish this game with 11 men?
Both sides had killer games against each other last year, split the season series 1-1. Monarchs with the 4-0 victory, and then on the opposite side, the Galaxy 2 later in the season with a 6-1 thrashing of the Monarchs. So both sides seeing if they can get out on the front foot this season. Both teams won their home games. This is at home for the Monarchs. Monarchs are 3-2 all time against the Galaxy 2.
Yeah. Monarchs went to LA last year and got hammered 6-1. When you have a young team like the Galaxy does, a lot of things can happen. You know, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. Can the Galaxy smooth that out and go on the road and put in a good performance today?
Both sides, like we mentioned, dealing with different situations. Real Salt Lake is playing this weekend, whereas the Galaxy are not. So both sides being attached to those MLS sides have opportunities to pull up and down of guys. Today we're going to see some more firepower from the Galaxy 2 as they have a few guys down from the first team looking to get minutes, whereas the Monarchs don't really have anybody down with them today.
The Monarchs don't have any players from the first team down with them, but there's going to be a lot of new names in that starting lineups through red cards, through injuries. Now, can those guys that haven't gotten many minutes recently, can they step up today and prove to Martin Vasquez that they belong in the starting lineup?
We're going to toss it to our first commercial break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups for both sides here on ESPN+. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Kicker! I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus $1,000 trade assist cash, or get over $13,000 in total savings.
Here live at Zions Bank Stadium here in Utah. Let's check out the starting lineups for both sides, starting with the visiting Galaxy 2.
The Los Dos have brought down a few players from the first team this week. You know, they have 2 players in the center of the back line between Dave Romney and Thomas Hilliard Arce that are going to be really strong.
Gout both sides. Let's check at Zion's. If at Zion lineups, Galaxy to
Few players.
for the Monarchs, Jordan Pena, an academy product, as we're underway here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs in their cobalt kits. Galaxy 2 in their all whites. The Monarchs are going to be moving from right to left across your TV screen. Chang, he'll settle, looking forward to Martinez. Martinez is a guy that really we haven't had an opportunity to see much of him in the attack, as last week he spent really 45 minutes or 50 minutes chasing the ball.
Yeah, last week is a tough week for a number 9 when you go down to 10 men, because that number 9 now is left on an island, and Martinez for the last 60 minutes was basically on an island by himself and having to press the defense, having to make the runs in the corner. So it's really hard for a 9 to get into a rhythm of a game when a team goes down to 10 men. So I'm with 10 men this week. I'm excited to see what he can really do.
Ball's gonna go just out of bounds. As you can see, the Monarchs starting lineup here coming across the screen. Quick look at that. Powder, Moberg, Okomu, and Brody in the back line. Avila, Pena, Chang, Blake, Hurd, and Martinez up top with Ochoa in goal. It's the starting 11 for the Monarchs today, as Ochoa is going to kick it forward. USL Team of the Week this last week for the 2nd week in a row. Last week he was on the bench for the USL Team of the Week. This week, one of the starters.
It was very much deserved, too, for Ochoa, because with going down to 10 guys, it is such a burden on the goalie, because that's when you're going to face a lot of shots, you're going to face a lot of pressure, and on the flip side, you have to slow the game down for your team, and I thought Ochoa did an excellent job at all 3 of those things.
Yeah, he did phenomenal. 9 saves and a shutout last week for the Monarchs. He leads the league in saves in the season, 13, 1 clean sheet, and 1 goal conceded on the 2019 season. Pena's going to get a touch on the ball. He'll turn. Has space in front of him. He's going to open out wide to Powder.
Pena's one of those guys that I'm really excited to see what he can do today, because he's a young player that is getting the call up to start today. And can he handle the pressure? We know he's got the technical tools and the physical tools, but can he mentally handle that pressure as a younger player getting a call up to a professional game?
One of the things that we talked about, David, in a post-game podcast was that the Monarchs needed to come out and dictate the game. Here in the first 3 minutes so far, the Monarchs have really dictated the pace, and that was a thing you did not see last week. It took about 11 minutes for the Monarchs to even find themselves in that game.
This is a completely opposite start for the Monarchs than what they had last week. I love seeing the way that they are keeping control of the ball. They're going side to side. They're finding those passing lanes right now, and they're breaking the Galaxy down.
Galaxy 2, Traore trying to get around. Pocket picked. Goes forward to Blake. Blake was looking for the run from Martinez. Martinez and Blake not quite on the same page. Abraham Romero in goal for the Galaxy 2, making his 2019 season debut. Chang, the touch. He was defended by Schultz, who's wearing the captain's armband for Los Dos tonight. As we'll check out the visiting team here real quick, as the flag's going to go up. So you'll see a few familiar faces for Monarchs fans, one being in that fans visiting team. We'll check out Los Dos tonight.
Check out, look at the flag's going to go up.
A few from the Monarchs.
So they have off this weekend, so he comes down to LA2 to get some minutes, get some experience, and let's see if he can utilize these minutes and get himself a place in the first team.
Already has an assist on the season for the Galaxy. This ball's thrown in. Powder's there, high boot, and he's going to be whistled for a foul.
All right, on that foul, here's my question for you. You saw in the DC game, Jefferson Savarino get a red card for that. Now, no card at all there. Where's the in-between, Landon?
That's one of those that's a questionable decision. Obviously, in a situation like that, there's no harm, no foul. And it should have probably been that way in the Real Salt Lake game, but maybe a slightly different situation a little later on in the game. We're still 5 minutes into this one.
That goes to show you that referees, they're human, and they see things differently, and they make different decisions.
Ball sprayed across. Chang's going to let it roll out for a Monarchs throw-in. Powder. Take the throw in front of the Monarchs bench. He's calling for Avila to drop in. Gets it forward to Blake. Headed glance off his head and to Martinez. Martinez had 2 players around him, and the foul will go his way just inside the Monarchs half.
I'd like to see Douglas Martinez, when he gets that ball into his feet, just play a little bit quicker. When that ball comes from the left side into him, can he turn and find Andrew Brody quicker that time so he's not finding himself in a situation where he's being fouled?
Avila, nice turn to get out away from pressure. Chang's got space in front of him. He'll play it out wide to Powder. Defended by Schultz. Into Chang, inside the box. Defended well by the Galaxy. As Harvey, the Panamanian international, will clear lines and reset for the Galaxy 2. Brody, another academy product in for the Monarchs. Going forward, ball tries to find him, but he cut off by Hilliard Arce. Played all the way back to the keeper. It'll be a reset for the Galaxy 2.
Can Los Dos find control of the ball right now? They've been under a little bit of pressure the opening 10 minutes here. Can they find control of that ball and flip it on the Monarchs and put some pressure on them?
Zubik is going to put his body into the back of Stanley Okumu. And he'll get a warning from the center referee saying, hey, that's not needed.
He's just letting Stanley know that he's there, and it's going to be a long night, that nothing's going to be easy for Stanley tonight.
As you'll get a replay look at that. Stanley had it all day. He's going to make him play the free kick on the touchline.
As he should. That's where the foul was. The guys need to know what's going on in the game.
Okumu will play it back to Ochoa, and Ochoa back to Okumu. Stanley back to James Moberg. James Moberg making his 2019 season debut here for the Monarchs. One of the mainstays from last season. Ball's up the wing. Hurd, can he get around the defender? Unable to do so. Romney did a good job defending that one.
You know, Romney's one of those guys that's coming down from the first team this week to get minutes, to get game fitness. He's one of those guys that's going to be a big player for the LA Galaxy this year, but he needs to be fit and he needs to be game sharp.
His hands full with Martinez. Martinez with a flick. And that's going to be a head injury, so play should stop as Blake.
Very hard challenge there from LA. I hope that Jack Blake is okay.
Blake was hit on, and the trainer's getting waved on here from Salt Lake. Questions coming from the Monarchs bench as to what happened there. Wonder if in a situation like that, a PK could have been called. So we'll get a replay look at that. Right up into the upper regions of his neck and head. Blake is still down. We're 9 minutes into this one here at Zions Bank Stadium. Still scoreless. A little bit of a blustery weekend here in Utah. Clouds are above and a little overcast.
It's definitely not as nice as it was last weekend. Last weekend was a beautiful day, and once again a Saturday afternoon. But we got these clouds hanging over us. Snow's melting. And it's just not nearly as nice a day.
Blake's up. Ready to get back on the pitch. With the whistle of the center referee. He's back on. We're back to full sides of 11. Reset from the Galaxy 2. Los Dos. Romney's going to try to play it forward. Trying to find Jose Hernandez, who really hasn't had a touch so far in this match. Another former Monarch on the bench for Los Dos. And Michael Gallagher. and a University of Washington product. So we have many of those dogs around here. Ball out wide. Traore defended well by Avila. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
So far, Landon, I'm really happy with the way the Monarchs have started this game. It's been completely opposite of the last week. They're controlling the game. They're controlling the flow of the game, and they're controlling the pace. Now let's see if they can keep that going here and not let LA find their footing.
It'll be a turn to open things up. Harvey, Panamanian international, opens it to Schultz. Monarchs putting a lot of pressure there. Avila going to be whistled for the foul.
That's one of those spots where, as a Monarch player, you can take a chance. You're 60 yards from your goal. You can take a chance and try to win the ball there. And if you foul them, okay, LA gets the ball, they keep it. But if you win the ball, now you're only 40 yards from the LA goal, and you've already broken two lines of the Galaxy team. And so I like that foul right there from Avila.
You don't mind giving up a free kick in that place as well. So it is a risk, a gamble. Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yep.
Throw in Herd. Tries to play it forward to Martinez. He's down on the ground, and it'll be a throw-in for the Galaxy 2. Select is the official soccer ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportsamerica.com. That's selectsportsamerica.com. Brody looking forward to Martinez. Applying quite a bit of pressure as Schultz is going to move forward. He's looking. There you go. Jordan Pena going to be called for the foul.
Hard foul from the youngster, but once again, it's that same area where Avila took the chance, and that's where you want to see the guys taking their chances to try to win that ball back. And once again, he's a young player, but hey, you take that foul, you take a gamble, and LA gets a foul, and they keep the ball, but that's okay.
And, you know, one of those things that does, Harvey's now going to think twice about receiving a ball in that midfield position. He's now been hit by Avila and Pena, both defensive mids, coming up and making sure he knew their presence was felt.
Yeah, and like you said, he's going to think twice about going into that middle area, and that's only going to pay off for the Monarchs in the end.
Alvarez. Seen much of him. Would expect him to maybe sit a little higher. Hasn't got much into this game so far. Avila's kept a good eye on him. Ball's going to be swung along the back line. Hilliard Arce to Schultz. Schultz plays it forward. Good touch there, almost from Zubik trying to find Alvarez. Zubik will track back.
In that situation, that's where Douglas Martinez, as the 9, you need to find that center back. You need to put your big body on his, and you need to hold that ball up, because this is what happens right here if you don't hold that ball up as a 9.
Jose Hernandez cleaned up by the Monarchs, and Avila, as he was in perfect position to make sure that one did not find the on-rushing attacking players for the Galaxy 2.
As a 9, if you let that center back step in front of you, all the Monarchs players' momentum are going forward, and now the Galaxy have won the ball, so it's now the Monarchs are on their back foot, and it causes a lot of problems for them defensively.
Alvarez over to Zubik, and it'll be cleaned up by Ochoa. Ochoa's going to take the reset. David Ochoa, the 18-year-old in goal for the Monarchs. Started both games this season for the Monarchs. Done a phenomenal job. And looks like more of a savvy veteran than an 18-year-old. Pena, an academy product. Spanish Fork, Utah. It's always fun to have some local kids on the roster. Komu, he'll play it wide to Moberg.
Excellent composure from James Moberg there.
Pena will come to collect. Pena's going to open things up. Blake, if Blake can find an on-rushing player. Herd inside the box. Cuts back, looking for options. Takes a shot, back post. And I think he was trying to cross it over to Chang, but really it was a mix between a shot and a cross.
Josh Hurd put himself in an excellent position there. Now, when I think he goes back and he watches this play on his own, he's going to be a little upset with himself because he could have either at the end there played the ball across the 6 to Martinez, or when he first received that through ball, he could have played the ball all the way across the field on the ground to a streaking Michael Chang.
A push in the back as Chang was pushed forward by Schultz.
But I would like to point this out, Landon, is that entire sequence, that entire play, it comes from the composure that James Moberg had there to keep the ball when he was under pressure, because he was able to play it into the middle to Jordan Pena, who was then able to start that play.
A beautiful ball there from Akomu, but Hurd came from an offside position to an onside position, and the flag will be raised. And one of the things you have to say is a guy like James Moberg, you would hope he would understand that and realize it, and he played that to a T. He also had Jose Hernandez right in front of him, so maybe he knew some tendencies there of Hernandez to overplay that, but a good job there from Moberg. Chang's rushing back. Schultz, as Alvarez is going to get a touch on the ball. Nice little ball there through. Harvey, he'll go forward. Nakomu there with a beautiful challenge to strip Harvey. Monarch's going to try to go forward. Martinez, 1v1 with Hilliard Arce. Tries to get a shot off, and it'll be deflected. It'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs, the first of the match.
As a center back myself, that is the kind of tackle that I love seeing from Stanley Okumu. That lets LA know, hey, it's going to be a tough night around the 18-yard box for you guys. And he's a big, strong guy, and it sets the tone for the Monarchs going forward.
Monarchs doing great so far, completing 82% of their passes, opposed to the 64 Los Dos. Corner kick coming from Blake. He'll swing it in with his right foot. Keeper parries it away, and the Monarchs will try to keep it in. Second opportunity coming. Blake puts it back, stick. Still bouncing around. Looked like it might have hit a hand. A few players raised their arms. Pena. Monarchs will recycle. Brody, he'll pick up his head. Tries to play it in the box. Finds Martinez. Slips through, though. But Avila is able to keep it in. Powder making a nice overlapping run. He'll get there, but Zubik's there to chase it and knock it out of play.
Love seeing that from the striker for LA. He's tracking back. He's tracking that player that's making a run, and he makes a great tackle. And if he's not there, no Powder, he's into the end line to make a good cross for the Monarchs.
And even better, because he was able to knock it off. Noah Powder for a Los Dos throw-in. Harvey goes down. Boot was risen high as Powder's fouled. And it'll be a free kick in a good position for the Monarchs. Monarchs only have scored 1 goal this season in 2 games, coming off a PK from Jack Blake in their first game and a 1-1 draw at Sacramento. Last week was scoreless here at Zions Bank Stadium.
This is that position where Jack Blake, he needs to play that ball between the defensive line and the goalie and force the goalie to either make a decision to come out or to stay, and it's got to be a really hard ball for that goalie to judge.
2-man wall. Line is on top of the 18. Blake will serve it in. Looking. Short ball and a handball. Man, that was questionable as it hit his hand, and maybe that's one of the ball to hand. I'm not even sure what's a handball these days. Avila's going to take a crack from distance, and it will be well wide.
To be honest, if this right here is not a handball, then to be honest, I don't know what we're going to call a handball anymore, because it is ball to hand, but it is affecting the play at the same time.
So we're going to get a second look at that one, as it'll be a restart from the Galaxy too. Oh my goodness, square in the hands.
And the rule is the hand has to be in an unnatural position. The hand is sticking a foot out from the body there, and the ball hits it. So is that a natural position? Is it unnatural? The referee said it was natural.
It's one of those that's subjective, but I definitely looked like an unnatural position. He didn't know much about it to his defense, and maybe it would have been a harsh PK to give here 20 minutes into this match. But I definitely could see it having been called a PK.
I've definitely seen penalty kicks that are handballs that have been called that are a lot less than that.
Nevertheless, we move on. 20th minute of play, still scoreless here at Zions Bank Stadium. Ball wide to Jose Hernandez. Looking in, he'll get the return pass. He'll try to open things up, finds Alvarez. Alvarez, nice footwork there, and he'll take a shot.
That's what you want to see from your playmaker right there. He's finding himself in that zone on top of the 18. He's getting the ball, he's receiving it and turning, and he's getting a shot on goal. That's what the Galaxy want to see from their playmaker. Now, if you're the Monarchs, that is the last place you want to see the best attacking player for Galaxy receive the ball.
Okomu's got to make sure he's staying in front instead of stabbing a little bit where he was caught a little bit in that awkward position.
You saw that long leg of his shootout to try to make a tackle on Alvarez, and Alvarez was ready for it, and he had just a nice little nimble-footed move right around him.
Harvey with a giveaway. Monarchs will try to go forward. Brody. He's going to switch the field, and the Monarchs will move to the near side. Powder picks up his head. Avila checks back to him. The Monarchs trying to dictate and control that pace and looking for opportunities. Los Dos doing a good job so far of keeping their defensive lines and not giving the Monarchs many opportunities to go forward.
That's right. When you see the Monarchs, when they're getting their joy right now, it's from those big switches that then find Josh Hurd on the through ball. The LA is not letting the Monarchs play through the middle like the Monarchs want to do.
Ball up over top. Okomu. Gonna play it well to Powder. Powder's touch is a little off, almost a giveaway. But he'll recollect. Be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Fans follow the Real Monarchs and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Shot pushed just wide. As Ochoa keeps this one scoreless. My goodness, a good opportunity there from Jose Hernandez.
A very softball played along the top of your 18 is the last thing the Monarchs want to see.
So we're going to replay look at that. Hernandez, left-footed, and a good job there by Ochoa to get his left paw out and push it wide.
Once again, David Ochoa is called upon to make a big save in a game, and he is up to the challenge.
Pena to Powder. Monarchs getting maybe slightly lackadaisical in the back. As Zubik's going to come from an offside position, and the flag will be raised.
It's the same problem from last week when the Monarchs played El Paso. They're giving the ball away in bad areas in their defensive third, and it's giving the opposing team chances to score.
And if you're Martin Vasquez, one of the things you do not want to see when you're maintaining this much possession is bad giveaways in your defensive third.
And that is a little bit of a problem for center backs. When you have a lot of possession, center backs sometimes get a little lackadaisical on the ball, and they don't hit it as sharply as they should. And right there, you see what happens when center back is lazy on the ball.
Blake whistled for the foul on Harvey. So he's getting warned. Not much of a foul there, but a definite foul. Romney. He'll play it out wide to Traore, trying to get around Andrew Brody. Moberg comes to clean things up, and he'll put it out of the stadium.
And back to that chance, I think Jose Hernandez, if he would have scored that goal, I think we would have seen a little bit of a celebration because of his parting from the Monarchs from last year.
Something you would have expected. Some players like to not celebrate, some like to go emphatically. Nice touch there by Hilliard RC. Monarchs putting a lot of pressure there. A giveaway. Chang, he'll play forward to Blake. Blake's gonna pick up his head. He'll see it from distance, puts the shot off the woodwork! Chang still keeps it in. It'll take a deflection, and it'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs.
And that's what you want to see from your number 10 right there. Picking the ball up in dangerous positions, driving at the defense, and if the defense drops, you shoot the ball. If they step, you lay it off to Douglas Martinez, and right there the defense dropped. And Jack Blake was able to unleash one of his great shots that he has, and like you said, off the woodwork.
A nice worm burner from distance as he almost found the nets here on the near side. He'll swing in the corner, looking back stick. Moberg gets his head on it, still inside the box. Avila, shot, and a goal! Ricardo Avila opens his 2019 scoring accounts. Ball pinged around in the box, and Avila found it at his feet, and composed and calm puts it in the back of the net.
What I love in that whole entire play was Jack Blake hit that corner just a little long, but James Moberg was where he was supposed to be. And as you see in the replay here, he heads it back across the 6 box instead of trying to put the header on goal. And when you head that ball back across the 6, it gives your team a second chance to try to score. And that ball falls right down the Avila's feet, and he finishes it.
Schultz was there trying to get down on the ground to make sure he could get in the path of that shot from Avila, but Avila was able to put that one where no one could get it.
It's one of those things as when you're a target on a set piece like that and the play or the ball goes just a little long, you don't want to necessarily put it back on goal because there's going to be a soft header and not a very good chance. You want to put it back across the middle and give your team another chance to score, and James Moberg uses his experience and he does just that.
And you've got to love that the Monarchs on their earlier one were looking to go back stick, didn't quite get there, and that ball was played well to the back stick and not defended well at all by the Galaxy 2. There was a couple open players, and Moberg was easily able to put that one right back into the mix.
Yeah, he found himself in that open spot, and that's what you want from the guy that's beyond the back post there.
This game might open up here in the next few, with the Monarchs taking the 1-0 lead in the 26th minute of play. Martinez will be fouled from behind. Not a foul, and we'll get a replay look at that foul. Schultz up over the top of him. Excuse me, the flag was up, so it was offside on the Monarchs. If you're Martin Vasquez, you have to feel good about that sequence. The Monarchs have held possession, 60% possession so far in this match, and we're finally able to get the breakthrough off a corner kick and what could have been a goal just moments before.
He has to be really happy with what he is seeing from his team right now because, like we talked in the pregame show, there's a lot of new faces in this lineup today, so you really weren't sure what you were going to get. And the Monarchs have controlled the majority of this game so far, and they've been extremely dangerous on the set pieces that they've had, with the last one paying off for them.
Schultz there. Schultz going to play it in the box. Okomu defends it well. Chang. Schultz on his backside. Defends it away. If you're Mike Munoz, what changes do you want to see here in the next 25 minutes?
If I'm Mike Munoz right now, I would like to see my team try to keep a little bit more possession of the ball and try and spread the Monarchs players out to find those dangerous passing lanes, because right now you're getting a lot of your center backs that are trying to play those through balls into the corner, and against this back line for the Monarchs, it's going to be really hard for Los Dos to get on the end of those balls. So can they keep possession from side to side, have a purpose to try and spread the Monarchs players out, find those passing lanes, and find your dangerous players in Zubik and Alvarez?
Really, Zubik and Alvarez have both been kept in check so far by the defense of the Monarchs. You'll see now Alvarez sitting a little higher in their formation. I would imagine trying to find some more space to receive the ball, because the couple times he's been quite dangerous.
Yeah, and with the Monarchs scoring now, it's going to draw the Galaxy out of their shell that they've been sitting in. Now, they've done a fantastic job of withstanding that pressure, but now they're going to have to step out of it a little bit, put a little bit more pressure on the Monarchs, and try and find Alvarez and Zubik in those dangerous spots.
As Okomu steps up to make sure Alvarez is denied of the ball. Romney, he'll play it out wide to Traore. 3 out of the 4 on the back line come down from the first team. Multiple players, like we mentioned, coming down.
And right there is one of those balls that I was talking about. Can Hilliard Arce, can he find his right back there and have his right back find the 6 or the 8 instead of him playing that ball over the top? Because to be honest, when you're going up against Stanley Okumu, no one is going to win that foot race except Stanley.
Stanley almost wins everything in the air as well. One of those amazing athletes in that sense. Speed and height. He does a nice job to keep composed there. The giveaway flag will come up. Alvarez came from that offside position to an onside position. Los Dos coming off a 3-0 victory over Tacoma Defiance, where Williams found a brace 24th and 60th minute, with Walker adding one in the 41st. Walker today up playing with Panama. Sounds like he came on here in the second half trying to button things up. And a 1-1 draw there. Komu. Powder's there. That's Komu. And a bad giveaway. That's what you cannot have. As Powder's there running back.
And we talked about that earlier in the game, those giveaways in the back, because that allows LA to pick the ball up 40 yards from the goal they want to score in. And now, as you can see, it puts them in a dangerous spot. That time, a little miscommunication from the Galaxy players, but previously, it created a really good chance for Galaxy.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Real Monarchs, and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the Real Monarchs' next home match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Martinez posts up. Nice job to keep possession for the Monarchs. Chang to Powder.
No foul. Good.
Powder will win the free kick for the Monarchs, or excuse me, the throw-in for the Monarchs. 32nd minute of play, Monarchs still lead 1-0. Off the Ricardo Avila goal in the 26th minute of play. Komu. Nice diagonal ball into Martinez. Martinez goes down though. And I got a little stinger there.
And right there is where, when you move the ball quickly along the back line from James Moberg to Stanley Akumu to Noah Powder and back to Stanley, that's when it opens up the Galaxy, and that enables Stanley right there to find that passing lane in the Douglas Martinez. But if you move the ball slowly or lazy along the back line, those passing lanes do not open up for the Monarchs. So over the next 15 minutes or so, can the Monarchs keep moving that ball quickly to break down the Galaxy? Now, I would like to see the Galaxy on the flip side. I'd like to see them stay a little tighter, sit in your lines a little bit, absorb that pressure, and try to pounce on the mistakes that the Monarchs make in the back.
And the Monarchs have made a couple mistakes. That's you could imagine that could be a quick downfall for the Monarchs, and a quick giveaway in the back turns into a quick goal-scoring chance. And we've seen a couple, but they've really been squandered away, except for the Jose Hernandez opportunity.
The Jose Hernandez opportunity was definitely the best chance that the Galaxy have had so far, and that came from the Monarchs giving the ball away. As you can see right now, Augustin Olave, he is explaining to Stanley, what he wants Stanley to do here for the next 15 minutes. And I'm going to guess it's Stanley, stay focused, stay sharp, do not give the ball away in the back, because the Monarchs are giving the Galaxy too many easy chances.
David Horst, 11-year MLS veteran, the likes of Real Salt Lake, Houston Dynamo. And he played a game or two for the Monarchs in that stretch. One we'll forget and we won't talk about. Romney. Zubik. Excuse me. Cuello. Looking forward to Hernandez. Akumu there to defend him. He'll go out for a goal kick. Cuello's disappeared for quite a bit of this match as well.
I mean, besides for about a 5 to 10 minute stretch here, I don't think the Galaxy have really had much of the ball. Monarchs have had the majority of the ball in this half. So as an attacking player, when you don't have the ball, it's really hard to get involved in this game.
Galaxy 2 really attacking mostly from that left side. Pena gets it off his feet to Powder. Blake's going to pick up his head. He'll look wide to space. Brody, the Energizer Bunny, going forward. Just outside the 18. He'll whip it in the box. It'll be cleared away by the captain, Schultz. Avila will head it over to Powder. Monarchs doing a good job of keeping calm in situations and making sure they're maintaining possession. Chang, back to Powder. Powder's going to pick up his head. Has space. Gets it back from Martinez. Little push and around. Cuello picks up his head and is defended well by Hurd, who tracked back a little bit.
And that's what you want to see from your winger. When the ball's bouncing around in the middle third there, and LA's looks like they're going to get control of it, you have your winger who tracks back and LA can't see him, and Josh Hurd is able to win that ball and keep possession for the Monarchs.
Monarchs have spent much of this game attacking up the wings. You'll notice they're spreading the ball wide, switching the point of attack. He's going to check into Avila. Avila was baiting Harvey into that foul. He knew it was coming. He kept the ball just out enough in front of him that he was going to get a whack from the back leg of Harvey. So you'll see a replay look at that. Another slow ball for the Monarchs.
Monarchs really have to be careful.
Akumu. Bad giveaway, but the Monarchs center backs collapse together and defend that one nicely.
The Galaxy really have to do a much better job of taking advantage of those opportunities that they're getting, because honestly, you're not going to get many of them. And right now, the Galaxy have squandered every one that they've gotten.
As Cuello comes forward, try to put pressure on Pena, but he'll turn forward. He'll open up space. Can he find one of the attacking players? Chang was cutting in. Powder has space and plenty of green turf in front of him. Monarchs will recycle. Komu. Out wide to Brody. Traore with a nice touch there, gets it off Andrew Brody and will win the throw-in for Los Dos.
As a center back, when you're receiving that ball and you find yourself kind of in the middle of the field and you have, I have the striker on the right side, maybe I have the left winger on the other side, and my only option is forward, you really have to take a sharp touch with speed going forward, and Stanley Kumu did an excellent job of breaking that line of pressure and starting the attack for Monarchs there.
And that shows experience, a guy to be able to pick up his head and not freak out in a situation like that.
And it shows a lot of confidence, because Stanley's really the last man back, and take that touch forward between two LA players that are putting pressure, that takes a lot of confidence from a player.
Schultz towards the touchline, plays it forward, inside the box. Chang's there. Schultz will settle. Monarchs have multiple players there, still can't clear though. It'll be a throw-in for Los Dos. Still 1-0 Monarchs. 38th minute of play. Alvarez gets down towards the touchline, able to keep it in. Nice little touch to get around Powder. And Avila is there to knock it away, and it'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
And that's right there is why Alvarez is their playmaker. He is trapped in the corner by Powder, and he gets himself out of a very tough situation. And if it wasn't for Avila going to ground there for a last-ditch tackle, Alvarez is in on that goal, making things happen for Los Dos.
It's one of the reasons why he's a coveted player in the international game. A lot of conversation there.
He's that kind of player that, he's getting a lot of notoriety as a younger player. And over the next few years, can he keep his head on straight? And can he keep progressing as a player? There's been a lot of people in the MLS in the history here that have, gotten success as young players and then kind of fallen off after a few years. Can he be one of those players that keeps his head on, keeps working hard, and keeps progressing as a player and as a person?
You have to remember he was born in 2002.
What were you doing in 2002, Landon?
Oh, 6th grade.
I was getting my driver's license in 2002.
June 19th, 2002. I'm a 17-year-old. When you remember his age, you have to be impressed. As oftentimes we've talked about David Ochoa, free kick coming for the Monarchs.
There's been a couple players in the last few weeks between Los Dos and for the Monarchs that are extremely young. It gives me so much hope for American soccer going forward.
Powder, he'll play it in with his left foot. Chang gets a head on it, and it hits Hurd square, I think, in the head. He didn't know much about it. As the Galaxy 2 will try to reset and go quickly. A lot of American talent. And talent that's come from here in Zion's Bank Real Academy, making their way all over the country, including Soto and Ledesma, who we saw play for the Monarchs last year. There's been many great players to come through this organization.
There's even a player that's playing for Bayern Munich right now, Taylor Booth.
Taylor Booth, Utah boy. Akomu, you can hear Martinez. Blake, he's cut down. And the Galaxy 2 will go forward. Brody's trying to track back on Hernandez. Traore's out wide.
Can Galaxy get it off the left side of the field right now where most of the Monarchs defense is? And can they get it into the middle? Can they find that switch and find the Monarchs off balance a little bit?
One of the things, like we mentioned, 60% of the time so far, the Galaxy 2 have been going up that left side. If you're the Monarchs, you can key into that a little bit and recognize that.
Yes, Jack, yes, Jack, yes. Everyone, everyone.
You can hear head coach Martin Vasquez putting in some words. Blake goes down. Romney will pick up his head. He's got Green in front of him. Out wide to Traore. He'll find Cuello.
Can the Galaxy be patient here and make something happen?
Alvarez trying to make a run. When there's going to be a foul, and I would imagine a yellow card to Cuello. He knew exactly what he was doing as he came across Avila.
That is a yellow card out of just pure frustration right there for the Galaxy. They're finding themselves in the attacking third, and they're making bad decisions right now, and they're getting frustrated with themselves, and a yellow card and a foul is what results.
42nd minute of play. The first yellow card of the match will be shown. It's the 5th yellow card given to the Galaxy here in 2019. Ochoa high and long. Chang tries to play it forward, looking over to Martinez, who was not in the area. Pena to Blake. Blake sees Hurd making a run, but elects to play it to Brody out wide. Pena going into space. Romney cuts it off. Zubik, not much help up with him as he's going to go at Moberg. Moberg defends it well and knocks it out of play.
Yeah, Zubik finds himself all alone there. Can the Galaxy, when they find their 9, can they get up a little bit quicker to support him?
Alvarez. Alvarez is going to go forward. Forward to Zubik. Moberg gets a touch on it. Still on top of the 18, cleared away by Avila. Hilliard RC, excuse me. Hernandez picks up his head out wide to Zubik. Flag stays down. Kept in on the touchline. Hernandez inside the 18. Hernandez turns, shot, and a deflection off Moberg.
The Monarchs cannot allow a player like Jose Hernandez to find that ball in that middle space right there and allow him to turn. He turns, he finds that first ball in the Zubik to the end line, and then Zubik immediately finds Hernandez trailing the play. And if not for a little bit of a last-ditch tackle there, Hernandez would have had a really good shot on goal.
Avila's down holding his right ankle. Quite a bit of pain, but Martinez, you have to speak to what he just did there, like you were mentioning. Did a phenomenal job of playing up there, winning the ball. Looks like he might have won a throw-in, or at least putting some pressure on the top of the defense for Los Dos.
And that's what the Monarchs, they need that out of Martinez. Sometimes he's going to find himself all alone up there. Can he cause those 2 center backs from LA? Can he cause them trouble and make it hard on them to win that ball and keep the ball for LA? And also, you know, recently he's been doing a really good job of using that big, strong body of his to hold off Arce and to hold off Romney and keep the ball for the Monarchs. The Monarchs, when you are able to find your 9's feet and allow him to play out the other way, it's going to cause all kinds of problems for the other team.
Romney, a lot of the possession so far for the Galaxy 2 has gone through Romney. Romney with 27 total passes, 92% pass accuracy so far in this one.
And you'd expect to see that from a player of his caliber because he's the most experienced player out here on the field right now for Los Dos. So you'd expect to see patience. You'd expect to see composure from him. And right now, he's the only player for Galaxy who's really connecting passes. He's being patient. He's trying to, as a center back, he's trying to control the flow for LA. Now, if you're LA, you don't want your center back controlling the flow of the game. You want your 6, you want your 8, you want your 10. You want those players to be on the ball the most, not your center back.
Definitely. And really that middle of the midfield hasn't been able to find it. Avila down again. He's coming off the pitch and struggling to do so. Looks like a substitution may be coming for the Monarchs. Master Cashier getting his gear off. The trainers are going to check him out for a second. And the Monarchs will play this next few minutes as stoppage time is announced. The 4 minutes. 4 minutes of stoppage. Monarchs going to play the next few down a man.
Monarchs have to be really careful here because it's the last couple minutes of a half. You can't let up your focus at all, and you're down to 10 men. So the Monarchs here, they really have to be careful that LA doesn't capitalize on the fact that they're down a man.
Be cleared out by the Monarchs. It'll be a throw-in. Avila. Looks like he's actually going to come back on the pitch. Still trying to figure out the ankle. Hurd opens it up, tries to find it forward to Martinez. Traore, Hurd battling. It'll be a foul given to the Monarchs.
Great work from Josh Hurd there. It's a really tough spot. You just don't want to kick the ball long because you want to keep the ball for your team. But on the flip side of that, you have 3 or 4 Galaxy players putting on pressure. Josh Hurd was able to use his feet, use his body, and get a foul for the Monarchs.
Martin Vasquez letting Cashier know to stay warm and stay ready. Avila steps back onto the pitch, and we're back to full 11s. Hernandez, touch forward. Hilliard RC goes forward and wins it. Like you mentioned, David, Monarchs have to stay composed here in the final few minutes of this first half stoppage. Hurd plays it back to Brody. To Pena.
You know, the last couple minutes here is what, you know, my college coach used to call a critical moment. And it's that you're at that point where you start thinking about halftime, you start taking a deep breath, and you let off the gas pedal just a little bit, and that's when you get yourself into trouble.
Good little get away from the Galaxy 2. Forward, Akomu brings it down with his chest, but not cleared away completely. Monarchs trying to get their defensive lines back behind the ball. Hernandez to Harvey. Harvey's going to play it out wide to the captain, Schultz. Schultz settled, defended by Chang. Ball slipped through to Schultz, but he can't get there. Ball's going to cross the line. Zubik, a nice little finish there. That will not count.
That was a great ball from Harvey there to try and find his right back, Schultz. But you got to remember, you're on turf. That ball's going to roll a little bit faster. It's going to roll a little bit further, and he is just not able to get there that time.
Ochoa trying to get a few extra yards on that one.
But honestly, I love seeing that from David Ochoa right now. He's trying to kill out the half, which he has done. And, you know, you don't see that from an 18-year-old goalie a lot of time that likes to take those chances with the referee. Maybe a Nick Raimondo, maybe a Tim Howard, but not an 18-year-old David Ochoa.
Traore wins the free kick, or excuse me, the restart. On the ground, Blake picks it up. Blake tries to open it up. Wide to Chang. Chang back out wide to Blake. Brody's in front of him. Brody's going to go forward. Hernandez defends him. Ball inside the box. No one home. Back stick goes long. Forward to Zubik. Akumu with a nice step. Wide to Chang. Chang to to Martinez. And that's going to be the half. 45 minutes of soccer played here at Zions Bank Stadium. The Monarchs are going to take a 1-0 lead into the halftime break on a 26-minute goal by Ricardo Avila, his first of the season. David, first half thoughts?
Monarchs being a little lazy with the ball in the back sometimes, and they're giving LA too many chances. And on the flip side, I like to see the Galaxy, when they get those chances from a bad giveaway from the Monarchs, I would love to see them, capitalize on one of those chances and score a goal for them.
And something that the Monarchs could probably do a little bit better with possession is when they possess, look to go forward. There has been moments where it's been kind of stagnant, where it has been along the back line, but it's also played to their advantage during times.
But you got to understand is that you can't always go forward with the ball. Sometimes you have to go sideways, and when you go sideways, that opens up those lanes to go forward. I want to see the Monarchs go forward as well, but I don't want to see them waste the ball by trying to force the ball forward.
Let's check out a piece on the rail, Zions Bank Academy.
This is where youth development turns into professional talent.
I wouldn't be the player I am today without the RSL Academy.
There isn't a better club that values the young players. You can see it in the first team and how many of them start week in and week out.
Every kid that has participated in our academy has either left with a college scholarship or a professional contract offer.
This is a top 10 to 15 facility in the world, and in terms of youth specific, this is as good as it gets.
This is the best academy that you will find in North America.
A lot of people talk about development and investing in youth. RSL does it. We believe in it, and we prove it.
Our owners always believed in developing young players, and we've put a lot of effort into hiring the right people to be there.
There's a lot of clubs in the MLS that'll look outside the country for big players, and a lot of them, but our club has said we're building a huge facility, we're building a home for the academy. We want to make sure that those players have an opportunity.
That's our mission, to get them to the best colleges, to get the best education, get them to play to the next level or at the highest level they can. Make sure that they are outstanding citizens, and that's what RSL Academy offers.
What sets us apart is the all-encompassing nature of the facility. We have a STEM school on site, so we know the boys are going to get a high level of education. But they're also going to have the support of a full charter high school with 300 plus students at it.
The education is unbelievably important for a couple different reasons. One, we're very honest with the reality and the percentages of signing a professional contract out of high school. So our job is to, make sure that they're prepared, because we've had many, Corey Baird just recently and Aaron Herrera, that have gone through the academy, gone to college, developed a little bit more, polished their game, and then have signed professional contracts. So we have to make sure that they are eligible, and at universities that are going to be a good fit for them educational-wise, but also continue their development soccer-wise. The other reason that it's hugely important is if you're going to be successful in life, you have to find a balance and be disciplined. Their jobs here are soccer and school. They got to do them both well. You can't suffer on one and think that you can excel in the other and then be successful in life.
There's nobody that does the residential side of things the way we do. And I think that has played a massive role in the development of all the kids that we've had come through so far, and the kids that we'll see in the future.
We thought through every single piece. We thought through the living situation. They live in 3-bedroom apartments with kitchens. We will start teaching them how to cook for themselves. They live in secured location with fingerprint security on the door locks. They go to school 300 yards away in a fingerprint secured school with one of the highest standards of academics in Utah. And that's all of 50 yards from their locker room and 20 yards from 5 grass fields and 3 turf fields. And so I think we've really thought through the development of youth, not only soccer-wise, but academically, socially, as well as many other aspects.
Going away from home and sacrificing and being able to, do your own laundry, serve yourself your own food, not having your family there, but, soccer-wise, your trainings and, living in an environment with all guys where, you can get better as a soccer player and, be able to achieve your dream, I think that's what has helped me the most to be able to be a professional.
We've had some talented young men, and they have dreams and they have goals. And with a little bit of structure, with a little bit of organization, you know, we have been able to push them to the first team and to the national team program. And when they come in at 14, 15 years old and, you know, pursuing dreams, pursuing goals, and then when you see them, you know, play a World Cup, you know, play for the first team, it's definitely, you know, something very special.
I'm not sure anyone else in the world is providing the academic standard and structure that we are. I'm not sure anyone else in the world is providing the residential structure that we are. And I understand that it's a bold statement to say that athletically we're providing a standard as good as anywhere in the world. We're still growing, but at the same time, there's absolutely zero reason why someone couldn't develop as a person and as a player in our facility.
America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Kicker! I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
Okay, people, it's Ford Truck Month. And you know what that means. The best deals on America's best-selling trucks for 42 years straight. And with over 28 million sold, isn't it time you joined the stampede?
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus 1,000 trade assist cash, or get over 13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the team. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody.
Blake takes the shot and he hammered it home.
Back here at the half at Zions Bank Stadium, Monarchs lead 1-0 off a goal in the 26th minute of play on Ricardo Avila opening his scoring account. And what's been an interesting game so far, Monarchs have really dictated the pace, but there's been some great saves by Ochoa, who was on the USL Team of the Week this last week, and we'll check out that Team of the Week as well as the Player of the Week here as he was the starting keeper for the second week in a row on that best 11. As you can see that list up on screen with a few familiar faces. Williams, who's on the bench there on the right side for Los Dos, and the player of the week, Brown from Reno, who we'll see here in a couple weeks, as he was named the second week player of the week, Brian Brown from Reno. But David, let's talk about adjustments that need to be made from Mike Munoz and Martin Vasquez. If you're Mike Munoz, down a goal, really haven't had much offense, what do you do to change the flow of things?
Right now, when your left center back, Dave Romney, has the most passes completed, the most possession of all your players in the first half, that's got to change. You have to put that ball at the feet of your playmakers like Alvarez, like Zubik. So in the second half, can LA find their playmakers a little bit more in the middle and stop trying to play those balls over top? Because right now, James Moberg and Stanley Kumar are just eating those balls up for the Monarchs. And then for the Monarchs, they're doing great going forward, but they can't get lackadaisical in the back. So can they keep that sharpness along the back four and not give up bad chances to the Galaxy?
Opportunities are going to be abound in this second half. I would imagine LA does not just sit in and try to see if they can figure things out. I would imagine with Efrain Alvarez and Ethan Zubik, Los Dos will try to press a little bit more and attack a little bit more, which should open up the game a little bit for the Monarchs.
Exactly. And the Galaxy, they still have 45 minutes. They don't need to step out of their lines just yet. They need to be composed, though, defensively and offensively. And like we said, they need to start keeping the ball with a purpose so they can start finding their playmakers in the middle of the field. Because in that first 45, when Alvarez found the ball, he was dangerous every time. But he wasn't finding it as much as he should have.
3 total shots for the Galaxy, 4 for the Monarchs. But the better opportunities really coming for the Monarchs, except for the opportunity for Jose Hernandez. If it was not for a paw of David Ochoa, that one would have had the back of the net.
In the run of play, that's probably been the best chance for both teams today. So I'd really like to see the Galaxy, when they pounce on those bad mistakes from the Monarchs, can they make the most of them and not squander them like they did in the first half?
Some adjustments made here. Second half will get underway here shortly in Harriman.
The Monarchs are really going to have to keep their foot on the pedal going forward here because they dictated the flow, they dictated the pace. So can they do that same thing here in the second half?
Monarchs made the substitution at the half. Looks like Avila this afternoon will be done. And Masta Cashier is going to come on. Monarchs going to give up a corner kick to start the half. Not the best way to start the second half for the Monarchs.
Not the best way to start for the Monarchs, but if you're the Galaxy, you have to be extremely happy with the way this second half has started. It was not Dave Romney playing the ball over top. It was their left back, Traore, who was trying to find the second runner in behind there.
Alvarez will serve it in with his left foot. Near post, can't beat Pena, not cleared away completely as Hernandez takes a crack off the body of Powder. Schultz back into the box. Akomu there. Traore pushes it at Ochoa, and a big save into his gut.
Not only is that a big save, he held on to the ball. He's in that position where if that ball ricochets off to him, there's 2 Galaxy players sitting on top of the 6 box waiting for that rebound. But David Ochoa, point blank, held on to that shot.
I'm going to say the midsection as he's down. Not something you like to see, but a great save there from David Ochoa. Looks like the adjustment the Monarchs making, though, is Chang now is sucked in, Hurd's out wide, as well as Cashier out wide. So Chang's playing in more of that attacking role as Blake's sitting in alongside Pena.
And that's going to push Jack Blake kind of back more into his natural position where he can be more of that 8, where he's getting back and getting forward. And it allows Chang, who's already a playmaker as a winger, now it allows him to kind of bring those same qualities to the 10 spot and hopefully make things happen a little bit more dynamically for the Monarchs.
Traore to Romney. We're going to switch the field here.
Everyone.
Now, in the first half, you did not see that from the Galaxy. When the ball was played along the back line, they were just dumping it over the top, and Arce that time played it back to the goalie to keep possession for Galaxy, which allows Dave Romney right now to find that ball in that spot, and it's going to get Douglas Martinez a yellow card early on in the second half here.
Martinez shown yellow in the 48th minute of play.
More of that, Dave. More of that.
Very similar to the yellow card shown to Cuello. Cuello's was more of a frustration foul, but kind of similar, holding in late on a player playing a long ball.
And there's nothing wrong with that foul from Douglas Martinez there. He was going hard to try to block that ball from Romney, and he catches Romney after the play.
Oberg wins that header. Played forward. Challenge there. Cuello picks up his head. Cuello just outside the area. Cuello shot. Held in by Ochoa.
You're seeing a much different LA Galaxy team right here to start this second half. They're keeping the ball. They're finding their dangerous players in the center of their field, and they're going at the Monarchs, which they did not do in the first half.
Give some credit to Mike Munoz in the halftime adjustments that he's made. Mikey Munoz, former professional soccer player, played for Chivas USA. His third season here with Los Dos. Herd picks up his head, looks back. Cashier keeps it in. Master Cashier shot. Still inside the box. Chang puts it up over the crossbar.
Michael Chang cannot squander that opportunity right there. That right there, that goal, that would kill the momentum that the Galaxy have started this second half with. He has absolutely got to put that away. And before that, though, the right back Schultz for the Galaxy, he puts the Galaxy in a mess to begin with because he misses a very easy header that he can clear. And if he clears that, the Galaxy are not in that position at all.
Herd picks up his head, finds Brody out wide. Making the overlapping run again.
Behind the ball,
Monarchs going to slow things up. Herd inside the box, but not wide enough, and collected by Romero, whose name we haven't had to call a whole ton.
Well, to be honest, the Monarchs really haven't had a whole lot of chances in the run of play. Most of their chances have come from set pieces.
Traore. Back to Romney. Across the back line. Hilliard RC to Schultz, the captain. Nice step there by Powder. He's able to win that one. Gets it wide. A little bit of a heavy touch there by Blake, but able to get it off his feet.
That's the right there. When he plays that ball on the Blake, I would love to see Blake get his body turned so that when he opens his hips, he's facing forward and not facing backwards. That way, if he does turn that ball over, he's facing the LA Galaxy goal, whereas if he turns the ball facing his own goal, the Galaxy are on a counterattack.
Blake. Pena. Like to see Pena open that up as he gives it away. He'll try to win it.
But that's a young player right there.
It's one of those first moments where we've seen him truly make a mistake that's where you question some experience, but it's done a phenomenal job like we've talked about all night.
And that's really the first instance where he looked like a young player, where he had that opportunity to turn, and he went right back into the pressure where that ball came from.
Hernandez, ball out wide. Powder gets there, and he'll win it away. Push it forward. Out of play from Los Dos throw-in. Quickly taken Harvey. Trying to find Zubik. Zubik's going to try to chase it to keep it in. But the flag was up on the far side. I was going to say, I don't think that was out here on the near side, but the flag was up on the far side. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs.
Can the Monarchs slow the game down right now and kill the momentum that the Galaxy have had here to start the second half? The Monarchs slow it down, get control of that ball, and impose your will back on the game the same way that they did in the first half.
Ochoa with the reset. High, long forward ball. Romney wins it. Second ball won by the Monarchs. Good header there by Pena. Out wide to Blake, then to Cashier. Cashier is going to go at the defense. He'll take a shot. He's going to take a deflection off Hilliard RC. Still inside the box. Blake. To Powder. Back to Blake. Good job by the Monarchs to keep possession. Pena. Cashier to Blake.
Can Cashier turn and get out of this space that he's gotten himself into? Look at all this acres of space out here on the right. Can James Moberg carry that ball into that space and find Andrew Brody?
Pena. Good job. He's able to find space. He'll pick up his head. Give credit to Los Dos defense as they stayed compact and held things in. Brody to Chang. Some give-and-go soccer here from the Monarchs. Brody inside the box, trying to find Blake. Sliding challenge by Cuello. Moberg with Zubik on his back.
Sometimes as the forward there, you don't need to win that ball. You just need to put enough pressure on the center back to force him into a mistake. And right there, I really wish James Moberg would have played that ball originally back to David Ochoa.
Schultz out wide. Los Dos going to play it along the back line.
And this is what I talked about at the start of the second half. Can the Galaxy keep the ball a little bit more to apply that offensive pressure to the Monarchs? They're being a little bit more patient, a little bit more composed, and they're not playing those wasteful balls over the top of the Monarchs' back line.
Traore to Cuello. Ooh, that was almost a dangerous opportunity. As Akumu went in for the challenge and just could not get there. Monarchs going to go on the counter. Chang picks up his head, finds Martinez out wide. Martinez, Traore in front of him, plays it back. Chang picks up his head. Chang, shot from distance, bending. And if he could have kept that down, he might have found the upper cobwebs of that post.
Not a bad look from Michael Chang there. That's, as a lefty, that's where you want to find the ball. In the corner of the 18 right now, and you can just shape it in that back corner.
Got a replay look at that. Harvey will get it back. He'll go forward. And Blake's going to be whistled for the foul and shown yellow. So that will be the 7th yellow card of the season for the Monarchs.
The Galaxy have really come out. They have controlled the pace. They have controlled the tempo of this second half. Now, can they start getting chances from keeping the ball a little bit more? Right now, they're starting to find themselves in more dangerous spots, but they're not, besides the Traore shot on Ochoa there, they're not finding themselves with really good opportunities to score.
Blake and Martinez with yellow cards for the Monarchs. Cuello with the yellow card for Los Dos. Brody picks up his head, looking forward to Martinez. Martinez and Romney going to be in a foot race. Martinez gets there first. He's inside the box, trying to find Hurd. It'll be cut out by Hilliard RC.
Excellent work there from Douglas Martinez. That's what you want to see from your 9. He's up against somebody that's the same size as him. Can he impose his will, impose his strength on him, and get to the end line and try and get that ball across? And I thought Douglas Martinez did an excellent job of that there.
Traore plays it forward, takes a deflection.
You got time.
Monarchs with the ball.
Watch the runs.
Brody, nice ball there to get it wide. Hurd, Chang. Traore was there on the ground. No foul called. If Chang would have just ran through that, I'm guessing a foul would have been called, but since he jumped, no foul called. Zubik outside the box. Played across the 6, and no one home on the back stick.
And this is what I was just talking about, Landon, is LA, they're finding themselves in very dangerous spots, but they're not getting good opportunities on goal. They have to get somebody on the end of that ball there from Zubik.
A lot of standing around as Akomu was there trying to defend it. And that's one of those scary situations as a center back. You don't want to be defending an awkward situation like that, because those coming across take a weird deflection and they find your back of the net.
As a center back, if you find your space first and you get there and then you worry about the man, because the last thing you want is to be facing your own goal, trying to clear the ball, because all it takes is one bad bounce, one just little bad touch.
Alvarez, or excuse me, Zubik. Ball from Alvarez and a beautiful ball. Zubik puts it high. You'll get a second look at this one. Not by much either.
Can the Monarchs regain control of this game right now? They have lost their grip of the game, and really the Galaxy have taken over right now, and they're controlling the tempo, they're controlling the pace. Can the Monarchs get that back and be dangerous again? Right now they're really on their heels, and the Galaxy are on the front foot.
First 13 minutes of this half, Hernandez finds himself in space. Hernandez, shot! Takes a deflection off Brody, and my goodness, that was almost level. We're gonna get a replay look at that. Hernandez, Brody does a nice job to track back there. Brody just gets his foot in at the last minute to push it wide.
Great timing of that last-ditch tackle there from Andrew Brody. He was beat, but he timed it just well to be able to get a foot on it and block it.
Monarchs pushing numbers out wide. Alvarez gonna serve it back inside the box. Headed away by Moberg. Chang, Monarch's gonna try to break here. Hurd, he's forward. Hurd, Schultz, the only man there. Chang with him, wide to Chang. Chang inside the box, and a goal! Michael Chang! What a sequence there from the Monarchs.
What a change of events though, Landon. Galaxy almost scoring, having a great chance. Monarchs, though, they bend, they don't break, and they go down the other way with a great ball from Douglas Martinez there, finding Josh Hurd in that space. And Josh Hurd there, he could have been greedy and taken that himself, but he plays a great ball across to Michael Chang, who then finishes it.
Chang has a thing for the woodwork, still hits the woodwork, but this one goes in the back of the net.
And that's what you want to see from your number 10 right there. He's putting himself in dangerous spots. That came off of a corner where Michael Chang is in the box marking somebody. He's got to run 80 yards. You know, you can't teach that mentality right there. That is somebody who wants to score. He ran 80 yards, found himself in a good spot, and finished it.
Textbook counterattack soccer right there from the Monarchs as they extend their 1-0 lead to 2-0 here in the 61st minute of play. Now's when you have to batten down the hatches. Good ball inside the 6, headed away, still inside. Alvarez with the long touch, but it's still an opportunity for Los Dos.
That is one of those goals that comes against the flow of the game, Landon. We've been talking about now for the last 15 minutes how the Galaxy have been controlling this half, and the Monarchs, though, against the flow, they break the momentum that the LA Galaxy had.
Alvarez, Hernandez will stand over this free kick. And a good distance here for both of them, both very capable of serving up a nice ball into the box. Monarchs gonna hold their line at the top of the 18. Two-man wall from Ochoa, excuse me, a one-man wall. Cashier is gonna stand in front, 10 yards away.
I talked about it in the first half. Can Alvarez find that curling ball to land between Ochoa and the back line of the Monarchs?
Hernandez pushing slightly wide will pull Brody out. Alvarez, ball, back stick, headed, and wide of frame. Looked like someone might have caught a flying fist there from Ochoa as he came out quickly.
And that was a perfect ball from Alvarez. As you saw, it forced Ochoa to come out, as you can see here, and he does not get to it. And Hilliard Arce gets there just before Ochoa does and barely misses the goal.
Just wasn't able to put it on frame. Nice header there from Los Dos.
I love the aggressiveness of Ochoa, but as a goalie, if you're going to come for that, you have to come for it and you have to get that ball.
Luckily, the header was wide because he would have been in no man's land.
I think when Hilliard Arce goes back and watches video of that play, he's going to be very frustrated with himself because he had the whole goal and he just had to knock the ball down.
63rd minute of play. Monarchs lead 2-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium. As Ochoa is going to be shown yellow. Silly yellow, not a yellow you want to be taking in a situation like this, especially in the 63rd minute of play. But he'll see yellow.
Maybe if he's an experienced goalie, he might get away with that a little bit more. But as a young goalie, he's not getting away with that with the referee.
One of those classic moments. Akomu. Pena, the academy product. He'll be stripped away, but was pushed from behind. It looked like it'll be a reset for the Monarchs. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings, only on USLsoccer.com. It's on USLsoccer.com. Nice switch there for the Monarchs. Cashier keeps it in. Blake comes to check to it. Monarchs now have an ability to allow the team to possess a little bit more with a 2-0 lead, but you still can't get composed and lackadaisical.
And this is what we talked about in the first half. This is going to pull the Galaxy out, but it allows the Monarchs to keep the ball a little bit. But like we said, don't get lazy with your passes. Keep that sharpness, keep that focus, because in the first half, there was a few passes that got away from the Monarchs, and the Galaxy pounced on them and almost scored. And the Monarchs cannot allow that same thing to happen here in the second half.
Herd battling with Traore there. Traore called for the foul. It's Herd had his jersey being pulled from behind. Free kick for the Monarchs. Quick reset. Akomu. Nice ball inside to Cashier. Forward trying to find Martinez. Martinez is going to run forward into space, but Hilliard RC does a nice job to keep him off the ball. Gotta have a little urgency if you're Los Dos at this point. Down 2-0 on the road. Martinez applying a lot of pressure. Hernandez getting a little fancy with it. If you're Mikey Munoz, that's gotta frustrate you. But he's able to get away with it.
Good work from Jack Blake there. He gets the ball. He could have turned to go forward, but it was better. Play the ball back to Akumo, and the Monarchs are able to keep the ball. And now, can the Monarchs regain the tempo of this game here?
Blake, big switch. Moberg out wide to Brody. Herd is going to try to get around Traore. Romney plays it forward, lightly hit. Can the Monarchs capitalize? Blake trying to find Powder. Good challenge there by Los Dos. Alvarez, he's into space. Alvarez trying to find people, trying to find it wide to Hernandez.
And this is where we talk about those opportunities, Landon. The Galaxy are putting themselves in good spots, but they are squandering the opportunity, and they're losing control or losing possession of the ball almost every time they find themselves in a good spot.
Something you'd like to see there from the Monarchs, though, with the line that their defensive back four took. They were really able to stay compact and together to really not give too many opportunities up the middle to Los Dos.
They did a good job of closing down that space and all four of them holding their line, because as you saw, the Galaxy player that was making the run through was offsides, but that's only because the back four held the line together.
Cuello. Harvey, he picks up his head. Space in front of him. Tries to get it back. Powder with a nice little skill check there. Cashier, 2v3. Cashier's gonna go at the defense. Finds it wide to Brody, making a full field run. Brody trying to find Martinez. It'll be cut out by Romney.
Excellent work from Master Cashier there to attack that back line. He had the ball, he had space. You take that space, and as you saw, Brody busting his rear end to get up that sideline, puts himself in a good spot, and the Monarchs have a great opportunity there.
Gotta love the work rate by Chang. 4 goals in 2018, 1 this afternoon. Hit the woodwork last week. He's going to enter the match. Adrian Vera will come on for Harvey, whose afternoon will be done here in the 68th minute of play.
And I thought Harvey had a much better second half than he did first half. He was able to find the ball in much more dangerous spots here in the second half. Now, can Vera make a difference? He's got 22 minutes. They're down 2-0. Can he come in and make a difference in that midfield?
Giveaway for the Monarchs. Vera's going to get his first touches. Alvarez, he'll play it out wide. Good ball there, came off his hand, it looked like, yep. I'm gonna imagine that had to be called. He was able to settle that with the help of his hand, and we have a substitute, another substitution coming here for Los Dos. That's Cuello. The yellow card in the 42nd minute of play. His night will be done. And you're going to see Augustine Williams. And I'd imagine you'll see a change of formation in this situation, moving Augustine Williams up high next to Zubik.
It looks like it's going to be more of a traditional 4-4-2 with Williams and Zubik up top together now.
Zubik, USL Team of the Week last week, scored 2 goals in their victory over Tacoma Defiance.
So with the LA Galaxy now going to a 4-4-2 and the Monarchs still sitting in their 4-3-3, the Monarchs will have an overload in the middle. Can they take advantage of that?
Hurd gets in behind Traore, and he's down. That's going to the back pocket, and that's going to be red, shown to Traore just outside the area. And that just changed this game on its head. Red card shown to Traore here in the 70th minute of play, as Josh Hurd was able to get in behind him.
You know, Josh Hurd was one of those guys that throughout preseason and the start of this year kind of found himself on the outside of the starting 11, and I think he has made the most of those minutes today. As we can see, he gets himself, not only does he get himself behind Traore, but he gets himself between the ball and Traore, forcing Traore to then have to go through him to try to get the ball, causing the red card.
Free kick from just outside the area, just on top of the 18, on top of the semicircle there.
Michael Chang found himself in a great spot last week on a free kick. Will it be Michael Chang again today, or is Jack Blake feeling himself, and is he going to get a great shot on goal here?
Chang, Powder, and Blake all stand over it. 4-man wall with Martinez standing just in front of them. This one's just outside the area. Romero in goal. Alvarez trying to find himself a little closer than the wall. He's going to be told he needs to step back a few.
Landon, I was an engineering major, and I'm pretty sure that's still not 10 yards.
Yeah. Questioning that, he's going to keep an eye on him. Chang will take it. Chang, shot, and a goal! Michael Chang with the brace! And that looked simple as Michael Chang puts it up and over the wall to find the back of the net and make it 3-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium in the 72nd minute of play.
Right before that, I said Michael Chang found himself in a good spot last week. This week he makes up for it, and he's able to bury that free kick in the back of the net.
You know, I have to chuckle. There's an account on Twitter called USL Western Conference Memes, and this tweet happened about 14 minutes ago before both of Chang's goals. It said, Chang can shoot anywhere but on goal. Potential kicker in the making. I think you can squander that one right out as he has the brace here at Zions Bank Stadium, putting the Monarchs up 3-0.
Man, and that's the internet for you. It never really knows what it's talking about. There's still 20 minutes left in this game. Can the Monarchs, can they clamp down and can they put in a professional performance here, and can they finish this game without giving up any goals or any more good chances for LA?
Ball's out wide. Schultz, the captain, putting it inside the box. Opportunity there. Williams and Zubik were there. Blake putting in some work. Challenge there from Hernandez. Blake's forward, another counterattack on, as it'll be cut out by Romney as Martinez was making a nice run to try to make it 4-0.
And that's what you want from your captain right there. He picks the ball up, he sees the space, he starts driving forward. He doesn't care what the score is, he doesn't care how many Galaxy players are in front of him. He's driving forward to try to finish this game out for the Monarchs.
Fittis is gonna come on for Los Dos here, and they're going to make their final substitution in the 74th minute of play, as Jose Hernandez will come off. Justin Fittis will replace Jose Hernandez. Chang still keeps it in. Zubik there to knock it out for a throw-in. Battle going on down there.
You got to feel a little bit bad for Mike Munoz. He came in at halftime. He gave the boys a talk. They came out. They reacted to what he told them at halftime, and they had a great start to the second half. And the goal against the Flow, followed by the red card, has completely killed any momentum the Galaxy had.
Free kick for the Monarchs. Powder will stand over it. Left-footed defensive player for the Monarchs. One-man wall in front of him. Short corner. He'll play it in. Looking back post. Okomu's there. Into the side netting. But not a bad look there. A well-driven ball.
Not a bad ball at all from Noah Powder. I would have liked to see it a little bit lower, though. A ball at that height going across the middle, no one can really get on the end of it. If it's a little bit lower, you might be able to find just a little flick from one of your guys attacking the ball.
Alvarez. He'll pick up his head, trying to find Zubik. Zubik and Brody there to push that one wide. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit www.stewardhealthcare or steward.org. That's www.steward.org. The Monarchs are going to make their final substitution tonight. Lionel Atundi. I just had to use the word Lionel. Not many times when you're going to say Lionel's coming on the pitch.
This is the Monarchs version of Lionel. But you know what? I'm really excited to see this young guy get some minutes here and show us what he can really do. It's a very pressure-free situation, so he should be able to go out there, work hard, have a little bit of fun, and prove to us what he's capable of.
Good work rate there from Douglas Martinez, and that was a good 77 minutes of play for him. And if you're Martin Vasquez, you have to be proud of what Douglas Martinez did for you in that. Doesn't find himself on the score sheet, but definitely was very instrumental in making sure the Monarchs attack was potent today.
I've talked to a few forwards that I train, and they get a little bit frustrated sometimes when they don't score goals. But guess what? As a forward, when you're not scoring goals, you still have to do the other things to make your team successful, such as putting pressure on the back four, making those runs to open up the middle for your 10, for your 7 and your 11. And the last 2 weeks, Douglas Martinez has done all of those other little things to make the Monarchs successful, just except score goals. And I'm sure that's going to frustrate him, but he's got to realize there's so much more.
Chang, shot, deflection, and pushed wide. He was trying to find the first ever hat trick in Monarchs history, but he'll win the corner kick for the Monarchs. It's never been done before.
As we see the replay
5 years
here,
in.
Chang finds himself in that good spot atop the 18. The Galaxy allow him to turn, which you never want to do for a player of Chang's ability, and he gets the shot on goal, but the Galaxy block it, and it's out for a corner.
Corner kick coming from Powder. 78th minute, 3-0 Monarchs. Ball inside the box, headed away, still kept in. Cashier was winding up, trying to bring it down. Counterattack coming here. Ball forward, Brody. He's going to be in a foot race with Zubik. Good little turn there. He'll keep it in. Andrew Brody. He'll be thrown down. Atundi. Advantage played. Chang. Chang settles. Just outside the area. Michael Chang finds Atundi. Atundi, shot, goal! And Michael Chang continues to add to his stat line today as he provides the assist to Lionel Atundi.
Landon, I think we might have found a new number 10 for the Monarchs. Ever since Chang has shifted over into that spot, the Monarchs have been extremely dangerous. They've been controlling the flow here, finding a lot of opportunity in front of goal, and it's all because of Michael Chang.
You know, one of the things you and I talked about is this Monarchs team needed to find some offense, and today they have found some offense here at the expense of Los Dos. Los Dos last week with a 3-0 victory. In the week before, though, they gave up 4 goals against Colorado.
When you come to Utah and you go down to 10 men, it is never an easy game, and the Monarchs, they have capitalized on that, and they've made the most of their opportunity here.
Michael Chang, have yourself a day. 2 goals, 1 assist. An opportunity to sit in that number 10 role. Monarchs going to make their final substitution here shortly. Monarchs continuing to smell blood and the water. Ball out wide. Fittis. Zubik. He'll go to the touchline, plays it across, and Ochoa is there to collect.
Ochoa needs to slow down the game here. There's only about 12 minutes left. Can he kill the game off for the Monarchs?
With that assist from Michael Chang, he now ties the USL Championship all-time record for assists with Jorge Herrera at 32. Congratulations to Michael Chang. Now tied for the all-time assist lead in the USL Championship.
You know, good for Michael Chang. He deserves that. He's earned it. Now, he didn't have the stat line last year that he wanted. Can this game right here, can it get Michael Chang, you know, jump-started a little bit going into the rest of this season for the Monarchs?
Josh Hurd will make way after 1 assist this afternoon. He's assisted on the first Michael Chang goal in the 60th minute of play. And Yasso will make his professional debut here for the Monarchs. And another academy product coming on.
Absolute fantastic shift from Josh Hurt tonight. Like I said before, he was one of those guys that kind of found himself on the outside, and he worked hard to put himself back in the Martin Vasquez's good graces and earn that starting spot, and he has definitely made the most of it, and I'd love to see Josh Hurt in the starting lineup going forward.
Brody's been playing this whole game 83 minutes and just didn't have quite the pace to get around fitness.
But it's the 83rd minute, and Andrew Brody's still putting in that work, which is what you want to see from these players.
And one of the adjustments that was made is Brody is now playing up on the wing. Yasso, in his professional debut, is going to play along the back line next to James Moberg. Steve Yasso, welcome to professional soccer.
There's been a lot of firsts today. Steve Yasso, Jordan Pena, Lionel getting his first USL goal. I mean, this is awesome for the Monarchs. They're such a young team with so much potential.
Cut out. Blake picks his head up, and that one had eyes for the back of the net. Blake pulled out his pitching wedge on that one.
He didn't get it up on the green, though.
Maybe he should take a lesson from Kalen Ryden. He golfs quite a bit. Chang, 2 goals today. 2018 had 4 goals, scored every 658 minutes. Today scored his 2 goals 12 minutes apart as the ball is played in.
And I really hope this performance, like I said before, it gets him jump-started, because the Monarchs need a player like him to control games for them and score goals, create assists. They need a player that, of Michael Chang's ability to do those things for them.
We tend to forget the red card in the 69th minute on Traore, and that really changed the game. The Monarchs scored 2 quick goals after that in the 72nd and 79th minutes. Only two red cards in the USL so far have been both here at Zions Bank Stadium. One against Kalen Ryden last week and one this week against Traore.
But we talked about the heart and mentality of the Monarchs players last week. They played down a man for 60 minutes.
Shot off the woodwork! My goodness, that was a beautiful curling ball and had Ochoa beat. But his friend was there to make the save.
Sometimes they say a goalie's best friend is the woodwork. And right there it was.
Tundi on the ball, 18-year-old international player from Cameroon, making his first appearance for the Monarchs. Yasso is going to get a touch. To Blake. Blake picks up his head, trying to find Chang. Chang's going to cut in. And you would just love nothing more than to see him have a chance to get the hat trick.
That'll be the first hat trick in Monarchs history, too.
Brody stays up. Out wide to Chang. To Yasso. Yasso, good ball there to Blake. Blake, shot! And Yasso! Steve Yasso with his first professional goal, as he was in the right place at the right time.
As a young player, Landon, they always tell you, follow up the shot. And guess what? It was the youngest player on the field for the Monarchs who follows up the shot, and he gets his first career goal.
What a moment for him. First professional match, first professional goal. He just was there and wanted nothing but to put that.
Johnny on the spot there.
And the route is on here at Zions Bank Stadium. Galaxy playing with 10 men and just looking uninterested.
I'm pretty sure between the last 4 games that the Galaxy and Monarchs have played against each other, there's been no less than 4 goals scored, either for the Galaxy or for the Monarchs.
Last game, 6-1, Los Dos. Game before that, 4-0 Monarchs. We're up to 17 goals in 3 games. Between these two sides, Monarchs hold the all-time advantage, 3-3-2, 2-1-1 here at Zions Bank Stadium, or excuse me, at home between Zions Bank Stadium and Rio Tinto. has turned into an inferno for the Galaxy too. Mike Munoz, I'm sure, is just ready to get on the bus and back to LA.
He had to be frustrated with that first half, and then you come out, you're extremely happy with the way your guys start the second half, and then this is what happens, and that all comes from a red card. So the Galaxy, they have some work to do when they get back to LA.
Monarchs still trying to find another one. Cashier had cut in, though, and it'll roll out the backside here in the 88th minute. 5-0 Monarchs. The full hand.
This is gonna give Martin Vasquez a lot of decisions to make, though. You know, he had a lot of guys that went back up to the first team today that were supposed to be playing with the Monarchs. Now, you have guys that come into your lineup, make a huge difference. You win a game 5-0. You control most of the game. Now, what happens when these guys that went back up to the first team, when they come back down to the Monarchs? I think he's got decisions to make going forward, and I would not want to be him right now.
No. But, you know, the nice thing is some of these young guys, this is what they needed, a confidence boost, an opportunity to play in front of their home fans, get some experience, and play well. And really, the likes of Jordan Pena, Steve Yasso, you know, have really shown, Lionel Atundi, they've been given an opportunity, and they've seized the day.
You know, and there's been 2 center backs that are starting tonight as well that didn't start last week for the Monarchs. Now, we expect Stanley Kumo to be a starter forward, but James Moberg, just like Josh Hurd, kind of found himself on the outside of the starting 11, and I think James Moberg has put in one heck of a shift today. He's really shown that experience that he has accumulated over the last few years, and he's put in a great day for the Monarchs.
Someone that really hasn't found his way into the match tonight was Efrain Alvarez. He really just never looked comfortable on the pitch, and maybe it was where he was playing early on in the game as the Monarchs try to attack again. Out wide to Brody. Yasso's going to make the overlapping run. Yasso's going to get it back. Yasso inside the box, headed away by Romney. But Brody's going to keep it in for the Monarchs.
It was really tough for Alvarez in that first half because Monarchs, they controlled most of that 45 minutes. But when the Galaxy came out for the second half, that's when you really saw Alvarez start to shine. He was finding more of the ball in the middle in more dangerous positions. And then we were really starting to see that Alvarez that we know come out. But then the red card happens, that Galaxy go down a guy. And once again, he's overloaded in the middle. It just becomes a hard game for him.
90th minute of play, stoppage time will be announced shortly. Monarchs with the 5 spot here. Chang, 2 goals and an assist. As no stoppage time will be announced, and LA is going to be able to get right back on the bus and leave Zions Bank Stadium after a 5-0 drubbing.
Tough night for the Galaxy. They started out poorly, but second half they came alive, and then the red card absolutely killed any momentum they had. But kudos to the Monarchs for taking advantage of the 10 men and making the most of it and scoring 5 goals tonight. So hopefully that confidence carries on forward for them as they go into the next game.
Full time here at Zions Bank Stadium, 5-0 Monarchs take the victory and get all 3 points to move to 1-0-2 on the season with 5 points and move up the Western Conference standings. We'll take a short break and be back with our final second half thoughts, or final game thoughts, here on ESPN+. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Kicker! I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus 1,000 trade assist cash, or get over 13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the team. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody!
Blake takes the shot, and he hammered it home.
Full time here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs 5-0 victory over the LA Galaxy 2. And what was a very complete game from this Monarch side, David.
Yes, a night and day from last week for the Monarchs. They put in an excellent performance today, but yes, they were aided by the 10 men in the second half, but that second goal was against the flow of the game, and that really killed off the momentum that the Galaxy had.
Monarchs with multiple scores. Avila, Chang with 2, Atundi with 1, and Yasso to finish things off. Man of the match tonight for me, David, Michael Chang. 2 goals and an assist. He really, not that he had to bounce back from last week, but hit the woodwork and really never found himself completely as that attacker. Today, got pushed into the 10 role for a period of time and performed exceptionally well.
Now, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one, and I'm going to go with Jack Blake. I thought Jack really controlled the pace of the game today. When you saw him at the 10, every time that ball got played into him, he was able to turn and switch it out, which was extremely dangerous for the Monarchs. And then in the second half, when he got pushed back to the 6 and the 8, he did a great job there as well, controlling the flow of the game. That's what you want from that guy in the middle. And yes, Michael Chang is going to have the stat sheet filled up today. Jack won't, but Jack put in one heck of a 90-minute shift.
Wearing that captain's armband, that's what you need from those type of guys, putting in those long shifts. But we have to take a moment to recognize 2 academy players that made their professional debuts today. Jordan Pena playing all 90 minutes and doing exceptionally well in the midfield. He really looked composed all night. And then Steve Yasso comes on and finds himself putting one in the back of the net. Take a bow, both you academy players. You deserve it. This is your day and an opportunity to remember forever.
What an awesome experience for both of these guys. If I was a casual fan showing up to this game today and you would have told me that Jordan Pena is an academy kid getting his first professional start, I would have said, you're crazy. Absolutely not. This kid put in an absolutely professional performance today. And, of course, we got to talk about Steve Yasso. Johnny on the spot. They always talk about following up your shot. And guess what? The young kid followed up the shot, and he was able to get his first professional goal.
If you're Martin Vasquez, what do you say after a game like this? Your team comes out, puts together a complete performance, 5 goals. Obviously, a man down aided that. But last week, you were down a man and didn't give up any goals. So today, you maybe got a little fortunate on that side. What do you say to the guys? Do you just tell them to enjoy it and relax?
Absolutely. Their performance last week, they earned this performance today because of the work they put in last week. Last week was not an easy game. They had the mentality and the heart to go 60 minutes down a man. Today they come out. They are rewarded for that hard work by the Galaxy getting a red card, and the Monarchs were able to put up 5 goals on the scoreboard.
Monarchs going to walk away feeling good about this one. Los Dos, on the other hand, going to walk away feeling incomplete. Monarchs put in 90 minutes of a phenomenal performance. Next week, they'll be on the road at Las Vegas on ESPN Plus, 8:30 p.m. That's next Saturday, March 30th, on the road at Las Vegas. We're going to sign off here from Zions Bank Stadium. David Horst, Landon Southwick from our wonderful production crew, statistician Connor McKenna. We'll sign off and catch you in 2 weeks here back at Zions Bank Stadium. Have a great afternoon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.